Fewer and fewer homeowners are deciding to list their home for sale as sellers literally vanish from the housing market overnight. That's what we're talking about today on the latest Redfin update, coming at you from Cancun, Mexico. Hey, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jason Ferrier. I'm a Columbus, Ohio realtor and investor. I've been doing it for 7 years. I appreciate you joining me today on the Housing Nerd. So you can see the name of this Redfin article is Pending Home Sales Decline Due to High Housing Costs, California Wildfires, and Frigid Weather Temperatures in Other Parts of the U.S. Yeah, it has been super cold in Ohio. When we left, it was like 10 degrees. When we land tomorrow, I think it's going to be like -4. All right, so they start off the article and say, pending sales posted their biggest decline in over a year this week, as did new listings. But mortgage purchase applications are on the rise and mortgage rates are coming down. So comment below. I want to know, what do you think mortgage rates are going to do this year? So they say Redfin's Home Buyer Demand Index, a seasonally adjusted measure of tours and requests for other buying services from Redfin agents, is down 11% month over month to its lowest level since August. Pending sales fell 8.4% year over year during the 4 weeks ending January 12th, the biggest decline since October 2023. Prospective sellers are also sitting on the sidelines, with new listings posted the biggest annual decline since September of 2023. A lot of people thought that we would skyrocket with the number of new listings because there would be a ton of distressed sellers out there, right? People that had to sell their home, that were forced to sell their home. That hasn't happened. So because that hasn't happened, inventory you're going to see is now starting to drop, unfortunately. So there's less choices for homeowners. That's just not good if you're out there looking for a deal. If you're also out there looking for prices to crash, that's definitely not good news. Now they go on and talk about home prices. For now, high housing costs are one reason pending sales are declining. Many would-be buyers are priced out with the median housing payment. Nationwide, sitting at its highest level in over 2 months, home sale prices are up 5.8% this year. And daily average mortgage rates hit their highest level since May this week after a surprisingly strong jobs report. Yeah, jobs report came in good. 10-year Treasury went up, but then we actually got the CPI report after this article was written, and the 10-year dropped, and so did mortgage rates. So the next section of the article is pretty sad. It's all about the California wildfires. I know some agents out there and some family members. Not fun. Suffice to say, people are definitely grifting and taking advantage of the displaced homeowners from these wildfires. Let's get into some of these leading indicators from Redfin. So first, mortgage rates about 7.13 according to this article. They're probably a little down right now based on what's been going on with CPI, but nonetheless, they're still elevated. This is the other thing you should definitely look at, and that is purchase applications up 27% from 1 week ago. Mortgage purchase applications are up 27%. That's a lot, but they're still down year over year. You should thank your lucky stars that purchase applications aren't up more, because if they were, with the amount of houses we have on the market, the prices would even be higher than they are now, which is difficult to even think about, but that's what's going on. All right, let's talk about median sale price, $379,000 and some change. Who's really counting when it's $379,000? Has not crashed, did not end 2024 lower than 2023. Comment below. Tell me if you're surprised that median sale price, according to Redfin, has not crashed yet. A lot of people are shocked. The fact is, we got no inventory, got no crash. Now look at the median monthly mortgage payment. Look at that, $2,586. There's no doubt that if you waited to purchase a home, you probably paid more and your mortgage rate could even be higher. I know several people who have waited and now they're thinking, will home prices actually come down? I don't know, man. I mean, we just need more inventory. That's what it means. I hate to harp on it, but that's just how it is. Got to have more supply unless demand gets worse, and demand right now is horrible. Take a look at pending sales. That's an insane number, 49,000, down 8.41% year over year. So just when you think demand couldn't get worse, people were buying homes or like sitting out of the housing market completely, it's actually getting worse. So not only do we have a low number of sellers, we have a low number of buyers. New listings, 47,890. So we actually took away more listings on the market than we added. So again, if you're waiting for that price crash, it's going to be hard to find if you're not adding more listings. Like we need like 100,000 new listings, because look at active listings now, way under 1,873,000 active listings on the market. That's 9.8% more than last year. Not very much. When it comes down to it, you've got to have some large increases in that inventory to see a price change. You're just going to have to. Now, the other side of the coin is, we could just grind sideways for years. It could be like something where we barely add inventory year after year, home prices stay elevated. You wait today to buy a house, and then tomorrow it's more expensive. But here's the tricky part about the market. Look at this. Share of homes off the market in 2 weeks or less, 22%. That's down from 25%, meaning that if you look at median days on market, that's 50 days, up 6 days. And look at the number of homes sold above list price, 21.7, down from 23%. So there's a lot of indicators right now that says homes are sitting on the market. In fact, I have some listings in Ohio where they haven't moved like they would have a couple years ago. So there are homes out there available that if you are shrewd and you can negotiate well as a buyer and you're patient as a buyer, you can maybe find a deal. Maybe. Because there are sellers out there that have listed their homes, they've left them on the market, they've had a few or many price changes maybe, and there's an opportunity to maybe buy. Redfin uses the top 50 metros and analyzes those for this next section. There's only 3 metros that declined in median sale price. That's it. 3. That's all. 3 out of 50. So that means 47 of the top 50 metros actually went up in median sale price. Nuts compared to last year. And look at the ones that are down, the kind of usual suspects. Austin, San Fran, Tampa, those are down. Look at the ones that are up though. Milwaukee up 20%. Look at Cleveland up 14%. Warren, Michigan 13%. Pittsburgh, PA 13%. And Newark, New Jersey 13%. The East and the Midwest is relentless with these price increases. I mean, will that last all of 2025? We'll have to see. So pending sales only increased in 2 of the top 50 metros, meaning that 48 of the top 50 metros in the U.S. saw lower pending sales than this time last year. That means demand in those areas, for all intents and purposes, is down. It just is probably, right? But the problem is new listings are too, because check this out. Now we'll get to new listings. New listings have only increased in 17 of the top 50 metros. So not as bad as pending sales, but still you've got 33 metros where new listings are lower than this time last year. See, I thought inventory was supposed to build. I thought we were going to have a wave of distressed sellers. Haven't seen it yet. Comment below. Have you seen it in your area? Haven't seen it in mine. Let's get to some of these Redfin graphs and charts. So median sale price, 4-year high right now, folks. That's the fact. It is. It's a 4-year high on median sale price. That's really unfortunate if you're waiting for a housing crash. You look at median asking price, that's a 4-year high too. So it's not like people are asking less for their house. They're asking more for their house than they were last year. Look at home buyer housing payments. Again, a 4-year high right now. It costs more right now to buy a home than it did this time over the last 4 years. Probably actually almost historically when you think about taxes and insurance. 4-year low in pending sales. So demand is like not amazing, thank goodness, because if you look at new listings, we're not a 4-year low on new listings, but dang close to it. People just don't want to sell their house. They're like, nah, I'm good with my 3% mortgage and my, 2018 home price. I know I am. Comment below, tell me if you are. Do you own a house right now with a 3% mortgage and you're like, no thanks, I'm not selling? Why would you, right? Unless you had to. So this one stat really stands out to me. Median days on market, 50 days, the highest in 4 years, simply means houses that are listed have a risk of sitting longer. A lot of times right now, because there's not a ton of buyers out there, there's not a ton of listings. And so the buyers that are out there have a few houses to choose from. And if they're not priced right, if they're not the right house, if they're not updated well, if they're not, if they're full of hidden gremlins, I call them, like bad roofs, bad windows, bad foundations especially, you're going to really suffer on market. You're going to take a long time to sell. I know I have a few listings like that are taking a long time to sell. So what do you do with this info as a buyer, seller, investor, even realtor? Well, if you're a buyer, be patient. There are opportunities out there. I would get very clear on the type of asset you want to buy in the neighborhood, and I would spend time every day, every week, depends how serious you are, looking at that type of asset in that neighborhood and find an opportunity to to make an offer that makes sense for you. There's nothing wrong with a disrespectful offer in today's market right now. Nothing wrong at all. And you could have a chance of getting it accepted. You never know. So be patient as a buyer. As a seller, you got to price that house right. Do not go over your skis on the pricing. Like, if you sense that the market is at 420, 415 for your house in your neighborhood, don't be like, well, I'll price it at 440 just to, feel it out and I can always come down. Believe it or not, pricing a house at market pricing can usually, or even slightly under market, can sometimes yield a higher end price than overpricing the home. This is not 2021. Don't act like it as a seller. As an investor, be patient. And the beautiful thing about being an investor is it doesn't really matter what's going on in the market. It really doesn't. Like, you just look at the deals, look at the numbers, go, which one works, which one doesn't? Pull the trigger, make offers on the deals that make sense. On the deals that don't make sense, ignore them. That's one of the great things about being an investor. So if you're going to be a buyer, like a home buyer living in your house, going back to that, act like an investor, don't get emotional, and just go after the deals that make sense for you and your family. Hey, if you got some insight, perspective, even value out of this video, do me a favor, hit the like button, consider subscribing to The Housing Nerd. I post a ton of updates about the housing market, like this one right here, all about mortgage mistakes.